Well, my fondest memory has to do with fishing at Moon Lake. The best fishing was down on the Lower Lake Fork River. Couldn't wait till I could get old enough to go down there. And I remember this one time going down with my dad, and I asked him if I could go down, fish in a hole right next to him, and he's like, "Sure, come on down," and hooked the biggest fish of the day, and right out from underneath him. And then later on, we split up, and I caught another one. And we remember walking back, and I could tell my dad was a little miffed that I caught the bigger fish, and the creel that I had the fish in was so heavy, and it was hurting, and I couldn't tell him that the creel was so heavy because I didn't want him to give me crap about catching the fish out from underneath him. So just many great memories of spending time with mom and dad out at Moon Lake. That's the best place to be. So.
When we were little, we didn't have trailers. We had an old army tent, which is just a big tarp canvas that we had poles to. It didn't have a bottom. Mom would pack up the old Rambler station wagon, and we would go pick up my dad when he got off work at midnight and drive to Moon Lake. And we had everything in boxes, the pots, the pans, the stoves. One trip I remember specifically, it rained the whole time, and water ran under the tent in through all of the boxes that we had. I mean, it was like literal river running through our tent with all of the boxes in there. After that, we upgraded to a really small trailer, and my dad built bunk beds over their bed for us kids to stay in. He will remember this. We had stew one evening for dinner, and during the night I got sick, and I was on the bunk bed up above my dad. I decided to get sick over the side, which happened to be right below him, and all of my stew landed right in his face. It's really gross, but he will remember that specific trip. Just everything about Moon Lake is just that's family to me, and that's something that my mom and dad started, and they still continue every year to go with us. And we're leaving again in a week, and we're just really anxious to get back up there and create more memories and spend more time together.
One of my fondest memories with my parents is my camping trips with them. One in particular, I believe 5 or 6, and we were camping at Utah Lake, and my dad had taken us fishing, and my dad always told me, "I'm going to cast it out where the big ones lurk." It's like, okay, this is good, this will be perfect, and he cast it out, and we were always way excited. Yes, we're going to get the big fish. Well, this time I did get the big fish, and I was terrified, and I dropped my pole and ran away screaming, and my dad went after my pole, went after the fish, reeled it in for me, and I went and hid in the back of the car. And the guy from the state park, he's like, "Oh, we want to take your picture. This is so exciting. It's a really big fish. We're going to put you in a magazine." I'm like, "Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that." So he promised me a soda if I would come out and let them take my picture, and I did, and he never gave me a soda. But now, every time I go fishing, my dad's always like, "Oh, you know what, let's cast it out where the big ones lurk." And he's even passed that on to my kids, to where he'll tell my kids that, and they always get way excited. And I don't know, my parents have just always made camping a lot of fun, and it's been very enjoyable. I love them.
All the other, I believe Ryan was on his mission, Kim was dating. So every Friday night, basically, Mom and Dad and I would go to Sukasa, and we would almost every single Friday night. I'd rather be with them eating good Mexican food than out hanging out with my friends. And it was always fun because they treat me like I was this really handsome kid and try to get me to flirt with some of the older waitresses. And one time in particular, I think I drank 2 pitchers of water right out of the pitcher, kind of on a dare from one of the waitresses. But that's something I'll always remember. Just going to dinner with the two of them, just the three of us, was nice.
My dad had this old truck, and he had made the camper shell to go on the top of it. And so my mom and dad laid flat this way, and the kids were this way on a board. Every time he rolled over, we'd move up because of him rolling over. And then when it rained, it leaked. And it rained up there a lot. But it was just fun, from just being little and going up there before all the other kids came and just having a good time. And
one of my favorite memories of Moon Lake is the talent show and watching you guys play the little banjo and listening to you lip sync to Judy's father's song. It was the best.